handball, Clint Reese. By a show of hands, how many of you have ever been 15 years old? That's good, that's almost everybody. I was 15 years old once as well, for about a year. I was an unremarkable 15-year-old. I went to school, I had a few friends, I had a girlfriend, I played sports, but mostly I just dealt with the emotional and hormonal angst and struggled with my identity just like every other 15-year-old. That all changed very dramatically one day. I woke up one morning, I was not feeling good at all. I went and told my mom, I said, listen, I need to go to the doctor, I can't go to school. She said, yeah, right. I said, no, seriously. She took me to the doctor, and very quickly, and one can make an argument for miraculously, the doctor told us we needed to rush to the nearest ER because he thought I had meningitis. For those of you that don't know, meningitis affects the spinal cord and it can cause swelling of the brain, coma, and death. By the time we got to the hospital, I can't even describe to you how bad it felt. For the first time, and thankfully the last time in my life, I could feel my own skeleton. And it was radiating with a pain that I thought was going to cook me from the inside out. Now, to diagnose meningitis completely, they have to take fluid from your spinal cord. In order to do this process is so painful they had to give me a medical grade stick to bite down on, otherwise I would crush my own teeth or swallow my tongue. When I took my shirt off for this procedure, it was uncovered that I had a rash that was forming from my hip, to my belly, to my chest, to my shoulder, shingles. Later, this turned into full quarter-inch blisters and open sores that covered the entire front of my body. But I didn't even notice because the pain was so bad from meningitis. Now that's a weird combination, shingles and meningitis. Doctors were worried that I was maybe patient zero of some new outbreak that was going to take over the world. So they had to follow quarantine protocol. Now where they put me is very odd. They quarantined me in the geriatric ward. I guess they figured if I was going to infect and take out an entire wing of the hospital, geriatric ward. Now, during my time in the hospital, doctors from around that hospital, doctors from around the state, doctors from around the country came in to visit me. They all asked me those same questions that every doctor asks you, and they write it down, but then they don't pass their notes off, apparently. Everybody asked me the same questions. But I didn't know. I didn't even notice that they were there because I couldn't keep anything down. I threw up all the time. I was in the worst pain ever. And one day, this very young and progressive Patch Adams type doctor came in and sat down on my bed and he said, listen, I know you're going through a really hard time and I know you can't take your mind off of it, but here's these rubber bands. I want you to make a rubber band ball. It'll help ease some of the pain. So I did. He was right. And during this time, I often thought to myself, what would the news story be after I die? What would they say about this 15-year-old? Would they say that I had some grand design planned out for me that never came to fruition because I died from some mysterious disease? What does dying even really feel like? It was a very dark time. I was quarantined for 40 days, but after I got to go home, I was not out of the woods yet. I still had to take medicine. And this medicine was delivered via PICC line that ran up my arm and down into my heart. You see, it was so powerful and so strong that it was technically poison. So it had to pump out to all my extremities at once, otherwise it would pool up in my veins and burn through me like battery acid. So my mom had the unfortunate task of injecting me with this venom every 3 to 4 hours. The whole time I laid on the couch and I made my rubber band. I was only 15 and all I could think about was going back to school. Isn't that weird? I thought about my friends and how much I missed them, and I added a rubber band for them. I thought about my family, and I added a rubber band for each one of my family members. I started thinking about my memories when I was a kid, riding my bike in the rain, catching tadpoles at the creek behind our house. I thought about when my parents got divorced. And for every memory, for every thought, for every emotion, I added a rubber band to the ball. This world is full of tragedy. And I want you to know that during that time, I asked myself a question, why? All the time. Why me? Why now? Why did God or coincidence or karma allow this to happen to me right now? Why? But I came to realize, and I want you to realize too, that why is the wrong question. Ask it enough and you get to the same thing every time. And the answer is, I don't know. The question you want to ask is how. How do I get through this? How do I get over this? How do I take this pain or this pleasure? How do I take this sorrow or this sadness and use it to make my life and the lives of those around me better? Like I said, this world is full of tragedy. Turn on the news and you see it every single day. Somebody dies from an incurable disease. Some terrorist takes the lives of dozens of people because they have a different skin color, or they worship a different God, or they chose somebody to love that person thought that they shouldn't. Every single time some madman walks into a concert or a school and kills men, women, and children, stop asking why and start asking how. I want you to do me a favor. Close your eyes. I want you to picture your heart beating inside your chest as you breathe in and out. I want you to also picture your heart as a rubber band ball. Think of each rubber band as a thought or a memory or an emotion. And what is it? Is it sadness? Is it sorrow? Is it pain? Is it pleasure? Now open your eyes. This is my rubber band ball. This is me. It's everything I've ever cared about. It's all the memory I've ever had. Now, if you're asking yourself why, you have to stop. You are the culmination of your actions, your thoughts, your choices, your memories, your dreams, your goals, and you only have one life to live. You only have one heart, you only have one soul, and you carry it with you forever. The question is, how are you going to use it?